Ismaile Lazar is one of those wrecking balls. A beastly tank of a fighter, Lazar doesn't so much step into the ring as storm into it, carrying himself with the swagger of a man who doesn't care how much bigger his opponent looks. On this night, it was Daniel Sam, the African Terminator, who stood in his way. Sam looked like he had been sculpted in steel, but Lazar came charging forward like he had fueled up on a McDonald's combo meal, unbothered by the aesthetics. The fight began and Lazar started smashing, one shot after another, forcing Sam to crumble under the sheer relentlessness of it all. Every punch Sam threw bounced off Lazar's cholesterol shield like pebbles off a tank. Then came the finale. Lazar detonated a right hand that shut the lights out. The factory settings were restored and Sam was done. After that, not even the mythical Lazarus Pit could have saved him. Then there's Vyacheslav Datsik, another man who proves appearances lie in the fight game. With a body that screams brawler more than elite athlete, Datsik has sent legends like Alexander Emelianenko and Bigfoot Silva crashing to the canvas. And when the promoters dared to set him up against Kofi King, a wrecking machine in his own right, most thought Datsik was in over his head. But from the opening bell, Datsik waded forward with pure ferocity, dethroning King with his fists. Blow after blow, he smothered the man who was supposed to dominate him. And then, with one chilling final sequence, Datsik cooled his opponent's fire permanently. The King was dead. Long live Datsik. Chris Huggy Bear Barnett might be the most deceptive of them all. A real-life kung fu panda, Barnett doesn't just win fights, he entertains. He's the type who will unleash a storm of violence 1 second and celebrate with a spinning belly dance the next. When Barnett faced Travis Wolf, a rock of a man who looked every bit the intimidating monster, things looked dire early. Wolf grabbed hold of Barnett and tried to smother him with his strength, making the first round an exhausting grind. But Barnett doesn't break. In the second round, he finally found his rhythm, unleashing bombs that sent Wolf sprawling. A barrage of strikes forced the referee to step in, and as Wolf was saved, Barnett danced, his belly shaking as the crowd roared. Victory never looked so joyful. Then there's Drazzen Yan, a fighter who looks more like a hobbit that skipped his diet plan than a professional boxer. Standing across from him was Kevin Walter, a mountain of muscle sculpted for intimidation. Walter came out firing, his punches like high-voltage bolts designed to short-circuit Jianjian immediately. But Drazzen moved like a fat Neo, slipping and dodging the shots. And when he found his opening, he unleashed a single punch that sent Walter collapsing into the Shadow Realm. One shot, that's all it took. Walter went down like his power switch had been flipped, and no necromancer on Earth could have brought him back. Of course, no story of combat chaos is complete without mentioning Bob Sapp. Once infamous for his sheer size, roid-inflated frame, and dirty antics, Sapp was the epitome of the gym monster. But karma, in the form of Alexander Lungu, came calling. Sapp strutted out to the ring like a snow queen ready for a private performance, but once the bell rang, Lungu wasted no time in tearing him apart. Sapp fought back, got back to his feet, but that only made things worse. Lungu calmly flattened him, knocking out the giant Elsa and proving that in combat sports, bulk means nothing without heart. And then, we come to the legend of Roy Big Country Nelson. The man looked like your next-door neighbor who had just finished a plate of ribs, but inside the cage, his fists were forged from dynamite. Nelson never cared what an athlete was supposed to look like. He cared about winning. At the end of his career, he was matched up with Dylan Kleckler, a walking protein commercial with muscles stacked on muscles. Kleckler charged forward like an armored tank, firing off heavy artillery. But Nelson, insulted as if someone had tried to snatch the last slice of pizza from his plate, unleashed a counter like Thor's hammer itself. One crushing blow, and Kleckler was sent packing straight to the halls of Helheim. Nelson's belly might have jiggled, but his fists ended careers. What all these stories prove is simple. Muscles might sell posters, but grit, power, and raw toughness win fights. These chubsters, mocked for their appearances, have turned stereotypes into stepping stones, making highlights out of men who looked like they belonged on magazine covers. And every calorie they devoured didn't slow them down, it fueled them to victory. So the next time you see a soft belly stepping into the ring, don't laugh. Watch closely, because behind that unassuming frame may lie the fists of a giant, Slayer. These walking cholesterol tanks don't just fight, they destroy. And every time they knock out another gym-sculpted monster, they remind the world that appearances mean nothing when the bell rings. If you enjoyed this breakdown of unlikely warriors turning giants into rubble, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. But more importantly, we want to hear from you. Which of these shocking upsets blew your mind the most? Do you think fighters like Nelson and Barnett prove that heart beats aesthetics every time? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get the debate rolling.